as a little update for you guys, it's been about 3 weeks or so since my last video, but we got these boys. We got some kitties. We got 2 kittens. They're both about almost 3 months now, or like maybe more like 2.5 months. But they're absolute sweethearts. This is Basil, and Pippa's sleeping over there. All our free time right now is just taking care of them. They both came down with calico when we first got them, and it was a bit scary. Pip definitely kind of hit rock bottom for a little bit, but they're completely fine now. No calico. All their shots, they are good to go. Well, all their shots except rabies because they're too young, but you know. Anyways, we have 2 new babies and they're absolute angels, and I wanted to update you because like, look at them. He's so sleepy. I will have a video up in about, I don't know, I want to say like 2 weeks, talking about what food they like the most, because we're trying to pick the best wet food for them instead of just using Fancy Feast, because they're a lot pickier than Timmy, and we want to make sure they're getting the most nutrition possible. So yeah, there will be a wet cat food video soon. I don't know if you can hear this. But that's the voice of an angel. So you guys probably notice that the video is a nicer quality than it usually is. It's because I got a new camera and I got a new setup and I'm very excited to use it. So we actually went to a total of 6 cat cafes while we were in Japan, and we wanted to do as many as possible. Not just because we wanted to make this video, but also because we love cats and we wanted to really get an idea of what a cat cafe was even supposed to be. We went to 6. I have 5 here to show you guys because we lost the footage for the 6th one. But I'm gonna go ahead and basically run down their prices, show you what they look like, show you the cats, and talk about like the behavior of the cats, talk about the food, the drinks, the overall like ambiance. The first cat cafe that we went was calico and kichijoji. In terms of all cat cafes, for the most part, what you do, you first walk in, they'll have the cash register and the person to go ahead and check you out there. They'll have an area where you put your shoes or lockers, and they'll basically ask you to take off your shoes and put on their slippers, and then they go ahead and run you through all the rules, make sure you understand them, and then you tell them how long you want to be there for. You don't pay until after, and you have to mind your own time. For this cat cafe, prices were around 600 to 1500 yen. This cat cafe was really chill. Like the dim lights, they had some books, they had drinks, like a vending machine for drinks in the back. There were quite a few people when we went. Basically, there's a vending machine all the way in the back of the room next to the bathroom, and they just have a bunch of drinks to pick from, like cold or hot. And you pick, and it fills up a little cup for you. They're not like great drinks. They're also not bad. Like the coffee was half decent. It was a little watered down, but half decent. And yeah, I wouldn't really call it a full-blown cafe because like it was just a vending machine and they didn't have food or anything. But it was nice. It was really nice. I do really like the accommodations they had for the cats. The cats at this cafe seemed pretty cozy and relatively sociable. So when it comes to cats and like their behaviors at cat cafes and stuff like that, I don't care if the cats are just being cats, i.e. like sleeping. I've seen a lot of reviews about cat cafes being like, oh, I didn't like it because the cats were mostly sleeping or whatever. And like, that's what they do, okay? A cat cafe isn't supposed to be like this super exciting thing where all the cats are playing with you, etc. Like, they're chill, they're relaxing, they're in their element, they're at home. Like I wouldn't expect them to do anything else. What I do care about is in terms of how they're socialized. So sometimes cats just don't like other cats. Even if they're raised together or they're introduced properly, they won't completely warm up to them. So I'm not here to like judge that. Like there's always gonna be a cat that doesn't like the others. And but when it comes to like they don't like human contact, they don't like being pet, they don't like being touched, etc. I think that's where you shouldn't have the cat there, not necessarily because it inconveniences other people, but more so because, you know, that cat obviously doesn't like being surrounded by people and being touched and stuff like that, and that's, you know, like the cat doesn't like it. So maybe like find a different home for him because that's just, you know, or like figure out a different way to socialize your cats. I liked it. I want to say like 4 out of 5. It was average. It wasn't like insanely amazing, but it wasn't bad at all. So 4 out of 5. Another thing that I will say about cat cafes is that your time there goes by very quickly. At least it did with us at like all the cat cafes that we went to. An hour just flies. So I would suggest staying at least an hour at any of these places because 30 minutes is like nothing. So we couldn't go to a cat cafe in Japan without at least visiting one Mocha. So Mocha is, I think, the biggest franchise of cat cafes in Japan. There's one in every big like area. And they're very, very pretty cat cafes. Like whoever owns this company has money because they're very pretty. The prices for Mocha were a little bit pricier than most places. I think it was about 200 yen every 10 minutes. So for a whole hour, that's like, oh wait, no, that's pretty cheap. That's 1,200. Similarly, they had us take off our shoes, put on some slippers that they had, and then like put our stuff into lockers. They gave us a little key and we just shoved our backpacks and everything in there. Yeah, Mocha is definitely the most decked out of all of the cat cafes. It's amazing. If you want to go to like a quote-unquote aesthetic cat cafe, this franchise is for you. I think my only issue with Mocha is that out of all the cat cafes that we visited, the cats were definitely the least socialized properly. They really didn't like being pet for the most part. Like you would go to pet any of them and they would just immediately run away or walk away. There was one newish kitten there that like didn't like any of the cats, and he was sweet. He was the one playing the most with us, but he would hiss at any of the cats. He really did not like them. They had also a vending machine here, and so we tried to have as many drinks as we possibly could to like make up for the 350 yen cost. So I think we had like 3 drinks each, so it would be like $1 each little cup. I will say, yeah, this definitely had the coziest environment and I think the coolest area for the cats. But in terms of the socialization of the cats, it wasn't like too great. Yeah, it was, you know, still that like just lounge vibe. Yeah, I would still just get like a minimum of an hour here because it was still pretty fun. I think we went closer to closing, but this one, the franchise that we went to, was in Kyoto. I think I would give it more like a 3.5 out of 5 or like 4 out of 5, just because the cats didn't seem like too happy. They seemed a little stressed out. All right, so of course we had to go to temari no ouchi? Temari no ouchi. So this was, I think, like one of the most popular cat cafes a few years ago. Like you would have to get a reservation months in advance to go here. We didn't have to do any reservations this time around. So this is also in Kichijoji. Kichijoji is right next to Inokashira Park, which has like it's where the Ghibli museum is. So Temari like 100% got a lot of inspiration from that. So it looks basically like you're walking into this little like cat world. They had pretty like great little appetizers and stuff. They were a little overpriced, so all we had I think was like the garlic bread and some of their drinks, but it was good. Everything was house made. When you're walking in, same deal as every other place. You take off your shoes, you put on their slippers, you tell them how long you want to be there for, and then you you wash your hands and you go on your merry way to see all the cats. It's a pretty like big room. Most of the videos that I've seen online don't really like it looks a lot smaller than it actually is, but it was pretty big. We were also there for feeding time again here, and it was so cute because they each definitely, like, some of the cats you could tell had special diets, so you couldn't give them treats or whatever. They would wear sweaters and they would tell you like, hey, you can't feed this cat if that's wearing a sweater. It was very, very wholesome. Each cat had their personality. They were all relatively sweet. Some of them didn't like other ones, but for the most part, they all like were fine together. I think this is actually the place that we spent the most money at, just because it was such a blast. So the prices were 1,200 yen per hour or 1,600 yen per hour on the week or the weekends respectively. The staff was super sweet. It was very wholesome and like easygoing. I think for a tourist spot, it was very chill. I think the hype about it has kind of died down. So if you're going anytime soon, I would recommend giving it a try. It was just like, I don't know, I think it was about a 10-minute walk from the station, like the main station there. So easy peasy, just give it a try. This was probably a 5 out of 5 for us. It was just so nice. It was very, very, very good experience. The cats were awesome. So the next cat cafe that we went to was Cateriam in Shimokitazawa. So to start this off, Shimokitazawa was so fun. I think we went to this neighborhood like 3 or 4 times. So according to one of our friends that was living there, she said that it's kind of up and coming. It's a very like fashion oriented area, so there are a ton of clothing shops. Most of them are secondhand. Some of them can be a little pricey, but other ones have really amazing prices, and we bought quite a bit of stuff there too. If you have the chance to go there, go visit. I'm gonna make a separate video on it because I have so much footage. So this cat cafe is right next to the station. It's really close to the Muji that's right next to it. So the kind of cool thing about Cateriam is that they had this like trial price. You could do a trial an hour or the whole day, which is kind of insane. Like a whole day, fuck yeah, why? They also had little lockers for us to put our stuff away, and it was kind of cute because when you walk in, it has like a closed off kind of gated area for the cats. But they had one cat at the cash register with them, and he was adorable. I think they were working on socializing him. So this cat cafe didn't have any bred kitties, and if they were all rescued in some way or another. So they had, I think, 3 newish cats there. It was 2 kittens and 1 older cat, and they were all being like socialized. The staff were walking around also playing with the cats, trying to show people how to play with the cats. And it's not often that you see places actually like playing with cats, like not just like coddling them, you know, like being very, very gentle with them, but like playing with them. The guy that was in particular that was helping us and like being sweet to us really reminded me of like how I play with my cats at home. Like he grabbed one of the kittens and put him on the ceiling, and then eventually took him down. He put one of the cats in like a plastic bag and started messing with him, and then dropped him into some cushions. You never see people like actually treating cats like that, and I thought it was really wholesome. Not to say that like cuddling them also isn't fun, but yeah, I thought it was really wholesome and really, really cool. Like you could tell they were really cat people. For the most part, we just kind of played with like a few kitties, particularly the 2 newish ones, but it was nice. Like the place as a whole, like the interior wasn't like the coolest or the most aesthetic in the world, but I think they really, really cared about the cats, and that came through a lot. Yeah, I would definitely recommend it. I think I would rate it a 5 out of 5. We went to one cat cafe in Ebisu called Nyafe Melange, and it was so nice. It was so comfy. It was so relaxing. There wasn't any staff interacting with us. I think it was only one girl on the job. while we were there because she was the one that rung us up and she was the one that gave us our drinks. Right off the bat, this cat cafe was already like top notch for me because all of them were rescued in some way or another. So this cat cafe was also on the cheaper side. It was 1,000 yen for an hour and 1,500 for an hour and a half. So I think it was about 500 every half hour. It wasn't like as extravagant as Mocha or anything. It was a relatively small room, but the cats were absolute sweethearts. I think some of the most interactive cats out of all the cat cafes that we went to. If I could give this place a 6 out of 5, I would. So the cats at first were a little apprehensive. They were definitely just kind of checking us out and seeing who we were. After like 5 or 10 minutes, they would not get off of us. So one cat started like rubbing up on Jasmine on the couch and rolling around, and then like 3 other cats, the moment that we got our drinks, were licking our drinks and rubbing on us or purring, rolling on the floor. They were sweethearts. They were so good. So you could actually wear your shoes inside here unless you wanted to step over towards the windows and then you had to wear slippers or just take your shoes off. They had lockers. You had to pay extra for the drinks, and I think my drink, which was just like essentially a regular iced coffee, was about 500 yen. So like, you know, total like 15 bucks while we were there, which was completely fine for me. There were like beds, like cat beds all along the shelf, and it was really cute because a lot of them would just like, it would be like 3 cats to 1 bed just cuddling and being sweet with each other. It was basically like walking into someone's house that had a bunch of cats that all got along and were all used to people and loved people. It was so nice and so cozy. I highly recommend giving it a visit if you are in Japan or if you're in the area. Like, please go here. It was so warm and wholesome and just good. Really good. So that was the 5 cat cafes. We did go to a 6th one that I forgot the footage of, but it was calaugh in Asakusa. And okay, so this one was actually my favorite out of all of them. From my understanding, these were also all rescues. At least they didn't seem bred. There was a lot of tabbies, just short hair. It was just very cozy and nice. It was dimly lit. We went at night. There was a group that went, like, it seemed like they were coworkers that came in after work. You could have a drink, like they sold alcohol there also, and they all just grabbed beer and they were laughing and having a good time with all the cats, you know, wandering around. Some of the cats were sociable, others weren't, but they would kind of just like stay to their spots. It was really nice. It was really nice. The service was great. They also had food that was awesome. We had a crepe with some cheese and honey, and it was amazing. Yeah, that's it. That's the one that I didn't get footage of that I really wish that I did because it was so good. In the end run, basically all of the cat cafes in Japan are relatively similar. If you're super into cats and stuff like that, I would say really listen to this guide and pick which one you think you'll like the most, or like, you know, look at Yelp. If you're just someone that wants to go experience a cat cafe in Japan, really any cafe is probably going to fulfill you in that area. They're all great in one way or another. They all have the basic, like same basic rules, same basic principles. You just go get your drinks, pay a upfront price or like after price for how long that you're there, and take off your shoes, put your stuff in a locker, and go have some fun with some cats. I encourage you to visit maybe more than one. Try a few in different areas and like, yeah, form your opinions or visit the ones that we visited, and I hope you love them. I have a lot of footage from Japan still to edit and compile and put into things. So this will be the first of many. I think my next one is going to be about Tokyo Disney Sea, or Shimokitazawa, whatever I decide to do. So yeah, thank you for watching. Please give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, or maybe subscribe if you want to see any future content. Thank you. Or comment if you've been to Japan, if you've visited a cat cafe in Japan, or if you visited a cat cafe in whatever country you're from. What's been your experience? What's been your favorite part of them? How do you feel about cat cafes? Anything you want to mention about cat cafes, go ahead and let me know. I want to know. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you next time. Goodbye.